Hello everyone, welcome to another motovlog on my channel. My name is Marshall3498. Sorry if it's audio's not the greatest. I am, doing 54 miles an hour. It's a pretty windy day. And this new setup, I'm not sure how it's gonna make audio. It may help it or it may make it worse. I don't know. But what I'd like to talk about in today's motovlog is, what do you think the best bike after dual sport is to go to adventure bike? I've got a couple choices, or like three in my head that I'd like to talk about. Yes, you could go to a bigger dual sport like the new DRZ 400S. You could go to DR650 if you still want old school and don't want to spend as much money, because the new 400S or 4S, sorry, is quite expensive for what you're getting, I do believe. Or you could go what I think is the best choice, and I'm saying this not because I've ridden one or owned one. I'm saying this as one of the guys in my little adventure bike group that we go on a little day rides together has ridden for a long time and is more of a less frugal person, we'll say that. So he's budget minded. He has ridden off-road a lot throughout his life. He's a little bit of a seasoned gentleman, we'll say, and he's the one that knows all the little off-road routes, so he's kind of the leader always of the group, so to speak. But he has a Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. Now, hear me out. Okay, if you're going to use this, he has it as a second bike, just like I use my 300 L4 as the second bike. He has a bigger 850. I don't know the exact year. One of the newer generations, but not the newest one. Like maybe a 2020 BMW 850 GS Adventure. Or GS Adventure, sorry. He has one of those. He's ridden that bike off-road quite a bit locally. He's used that bike for touring. But just a few months ago, he got, after putting his money on hold, he got a 450 Himalayan, the tubeless version. He waited on that. I had to think for a second, sorry. And, bike, this is going to pretend on your taxes and your dealer fees. But basically the bike's like $5,500 before taxes, dealer prep, freight, and all that's going to vary state to state, dealer to dealer, like how much taxes are, if they charge you for dealer prep, all that. And you get a 3-year unlimited mileage warranty for that, standard. Bike makes right at 40 horsepower. Has a pretty big gas tank. I know some of the specs off the top of my head from watching stuff and talking to him about it, but not all of it. Bike weighs 430, bone stock, but a lot of that stuff stock. You don't have to add much to it, so it's not like the bike starts out at 400. You end up with protection on the bike, ends up weighing like 450. The bike already comes with a center stand, comes with those upper crash bars. So basically, all he's done to his is put a aluminum skid plate on the bottom. He's got a Honda things, the horns up here, reverse from a Yamaha. But he's got a aluminum skid plate on his, and he's trying to find a set of Bart Busters that'll fit, because he's waiting on someone like Tusk, where they're cheaper, instead of Bart Busters, to find one. But I've not ridden the bike yet. He's ridden it twice off-road with us, and he absolutely loves it. It has like right at 8 inches suspension travel. It's still fairly low seat height. I think the seat height's like 32 inches, 31, somewhere in there. It's pretty low for an adventure bike with that much travel. The bike's not giving him any trouble, and he is taking that Himalayan on every little dirt road, back road, gravel, whatever that I've been on, that this Honda has went on. So granted, we're riding BDR stuff. We're basically riding a little bit of 2-track and some gravel roads. That's about it. Nothing too gnarly. but the bike's done fantastic. And I may see the next time we're trail riding a little bit if I can test that bike for y'all, maybe even off-road, or at least street ride, first ride probably. Just take a little loop around the neighborhood. I feel like that'll be fun to do, and some of y'all viewers would like to see that. But I feel like that. But another bike that's kinda, maybe if you wanted to spend more money and you wanted to stay in the Honda ecosystem or a Honda family, if you're starting out on a Honda 300L or a Rally, if you wanted to stay in the Honda family, I feel like a great way to do that is to really, sorry, I'm watching traffic, is a Honda Transalp. It's not the most capable off-road bike that's out there. Yes, it still has tube tires, but it's good value for your money. It's a little bit more than a Himalayan 450. Sorry, brake lever feels a little weird. It's a little bit more than a Himalayan 450 as far as money-wise goes, but it's the same weight. It's the same, but yet the horsepower is quite a bit more. I think the Transalp 750 is 85 horsepower, something like that, which is quite a bit. But it's still right at $10,000. And yes, you don't get adjustable suspension front and rear for that, but you know, you get a lot for your money, and I think that would be another good choice, especially if you were going from a dual sport as the only bike to something a little bigger where you got your off-road legs underneath you, so to speak, and you want to do some farther away BDRs, so to speak. Something not only farther away where you had to get on the interstate more, but just a couple more miles on in total. And I really feel like that would be another good choice, because the bike has more power to carry a little bit heavier load, to maybe have a little bit in reserve on the interstate. Now Himalayan, don't get me wrong, at 40 horsepower and the way they're geared, the average American, they'll do 75 miles an hour down the interstate and have a little bit of power to spare, even with a pretty good sized guy on it and quite a bit of luggage. But if you wanted to have a little bit more in reserve, like a lot of us Americans do, and a little more power, I feel like the Transalp would really do a really good job. Also, it's a little bit more money, but it's a Honda. I'm not saying anything bad about that little Himalayan 450. I think those bikes for the money are incredible. But I do feel like the Honda is probably, maybe a bike that you might have for longer. You might, if that was your only bike, that might be a better choice than the Himalayan. But it's whatever. That's why they make so many good motorcycle choices out there these days, because there's not a bad bike out there, not really that bad of a choice. And that helps us, for us consumers, because we win in the end because we have more choices to choose from. But I really feel like that bike would do maybe a bike for more long term if that was your only bike. I think either one would be a good second bike choice, especially if you had a bigger bike. But I don't know. But on that, guys, thanks for watching today's motovlog. If you've not already done so, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me tell you what you think about my opinions about either bike. And ride safe and have fun. We'll see you on the next one. See ya.